Hi guys, and welcome to my channel again. I'm your girl Tamara, and this is actually my second video, so please help to like, subscribe. But yes, this is basically a continuation of the last video that I made about the waiting season, being in your waiting season. And to be honest with you guys, like, there is no amount of time for the waiting season. Like, God's time is God's time, and His time is perfect. Yes? If we agree with that, then we know that you can ask for something and you think that it's going to, let's say, come in 3 months tops or a week tops, or you're fasting for it and you're like, at the end of this fast, it's going to happen. But no, you put your request into God, and now God knows, and now He's going to prepare you for what you asked for. Okay, so let me just take you guys back. So let's say 10 years now. 10 years ago, I've been saying, I want to move out of the Bahamas. I don't want to live in the Bahamas. I want to go. I love the Latin culture. I want to move to a Spanish-speaking country, right? 10 years later, I meet someone who's from the country. Even though we did not last in a relationship, it was God directing me, right? And I felt comfortable now because I actually knew someone, and now I'm in the country now 10 years later from my first request. There's no like I do not want you guys to think that it's gonna be an easy road. Let's just get that on there. Okay, so at the end of the day, I'm here now. This is something that I asked for years ago. Let's say with our husbands or our wives, right? When I think of, let's say, if I was to have my husband, because everyone thought that at 25 they'll be married and whatever, right? This is the dream that we had for ourselves. But me looking at my life 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and me basically being a drunk, if let's be honest here, a girl who always was drinking, always was out in the club, always, like, who did not have any respect for her body. And I want a husband. And I look back at it right now and I'm like, I'm sick just thinking about myself. I'm sickened with myself because I'm just like, why would you think that someone would want to make you a wife and you would come home smelling like alcohol? That's not cute. You didn't want that for yourself, So at the end of the day, and it's so crazy because, let's say, all my life I've been saying my husband is going to be someone amazing. And I really feel like I'll find that in this world, with everything that's happening right now. Let's be honest. Let's come on now. So God had to change me first. And there's a lot of things that like, there's things that we need to change. We want the husband, but we don't want to change to be the wife. We want the wife, but we don't want to change to be the husband that our wife deserves for the long term. Right? So at the end of the day, God had to get me to the place to where now I don't drink as much as I used to. I used to smoke. Like, an ex of mine was like, I don't like you smoking. People would come up to me and said, who's that for? Like, you're too pretty to smoke. And I was doing these things, right? And it's just like, but yet I wanted to be a wife. It didn't make, like, now I'm looking at it, I'm just like, were you really serious? So at the end of the day, when it comes to God has to renew us, and you have to know that God knows best and He knows who He has for you, right? So at the end of the day, He needs to make sure that you're ready for that person. Okay, so now I've always said that I wanted to be a woman of God. Like, people have asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up? From I was little, a woman of God, right? I wasn't there yet. So God said, in the Bible it says that we shouldn't be unequally yoked. If I got into a serious relationship then when I wasn't fully in God, then I would just settle for anything, right? But now I'm at a place to where I'm celibate, right? So I have respect for my body, and I'm saying, okay, if I don't have, if I can say, God, I respect you and myself enough to where I'm not going to give my body to anyone, then when it comes to me having my husband, wouldn't I do it for him, right? Wouldn't I be faithful to him? And it's vice versa, right? So now I'm looking for, because I have this mentality now, I'm looking for a guy with the same type of principles. Are you going to save yourself? Because that's something that it's difficult for men now in this age because of what they're seeing so much online, and it's so easy for them to get this girl and that girl, right? The men, they aren't being faithful right now. So that's something that, okay, I'm going to wait for him. I'm going to wait, and I cannot see myself. Back then, I could have settled for someone who, okay, he loved me. He doesn't want to go to church with me, but he loves me and we have a good relationship. But now it's like, if he's not from you, God, I don't want him. And I said this, I think yesterday, it was just yesterday, and I cried and I said, God, I always, all my life, I wanted a family. All my life, like other people, they went to college, they thought, like, it's a game called The Sims, right? And in The Sims, like they have to where either your aspirations are like love, or it's like getting a good job, or it's like da 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 da. Always, all of my people were lovers, like that's the type of person I was. They had their mindset on growing a family, and it's because that's what I wanted, that's what I want. So at the end of the day, when it comes to me wanting that, even though I don't have it right now, I said, God, regardless on how bad I want it, I will stay single forever if that man is not from you. And that's how we need to, the mindset that we need to have to be guided and obey what God wants for us. Like not leaning on our own understanding, yes? And even when it comes to the waiting season, something happened to me yesterday. And it's so crazy because I went to like break down, and then I was just like, and it's a song called Wind of Love by, like Elevation Worship, whatever. And like the end of the song just continued to play in my head, and it was just like, I won't lean on my own understanding. I trust you won't ever leave me stranded, right? And I kept singing that over and over again. And I'm like, my own understanding. My own understanding is like, oh, just get a husband, like you guys. No. I know that you have something so much more for me. You will not leave me in this want for having a husband, but you're working on me in the now. So my mental, what I want, I don't care for it. It's you. I'm gonna run after what you want for me, right? So it's like, yeah. But like I said, guys, what this video really is about is for me to get into your mind that it's not going to happen today, not tomorrow, not after the fast, not this year, maybe not next year, because that's something that I remember when I was going to a church. And they'll be like, next month is your month. And I had to leave the church really and truly, not because, and I still watch church and everything, but at the end of the day, I had to leave that church because it was a scary place, because I was hoping for that breakthrough the next month or this month or the next time. And it was like, it's not realistic, right? When God wants to do, he's going to do. Like, I don't need a pastor. Basically, in the Bahamas, we say like, selling dreams. I think they say that in the States too, like selling me this dream that everything's going to work out within this time. You don't know. We don't know. Right? So at the end of the day, you just continue to trust. you put you asked, right? Your request was made, and at the end of the day, now if you're in the time of waiting, God is preparing you, and you just have to be at peace knowing that it will work out. In the time, in the now, what am I gonna do? I was watching Elevation Church, and Stephen, he was talking about one day wins, right? So he was just like, we keep saying one day win, and no, like we need to focus on the now and make small one day wins, yes? So at the end of the day, I know that I want to learn Spanish. Of course, I need to put in the work. Like every day, I can't look back 2 years and be like, oh, I didn't learn how to. No, I didn't do anything. So when it comes to if we want certain things from God, we just keep making little steps towards it as well. I want you guys to know that it is not easy. And we are humans. We will fall and have times to where we get into a mood of, why God, da, da, da. I know it all so it, I know these things, like I've lived this, I've done this, that I will continue to do this, I'm sure, because it's right, I'm human. But at the end of the day, something that I use a lot too is that worshiping. When they said worship while you wait, they did not lie. Worshiping while you wait, just like I said in the last video, when you're in a place that you're not comfortable with, but you still could show God that I'm going to praise you through it all. It's a blessing that he just gives you because of that. A blessing of peace that he gives. The other day, I think I was in a bad mood about something. I can't remember. And my mom, I was on the phone with her venting about it. And like, she wasn't helping. And like, she told me like, go worship. And I was just like, bet, and I just hung up the phone, like, not hung up like that, but I'm just like, yeah, you're right. Let me go worship, like, bye. Because she wasn't helping. So I'm just like, why am I going to man when I need to go to God, So I started to worship. And the first song that came on was like, the story I'll tell, right? And it was talking about, like in the beginning of the song, she said something like, basically, this what they seeing right now, in a while they're going to see what you've done, or like how you changed my life, or what I'll find the words. I probably couldn't want to, but listen, I started to cry just on my knees, like, yeah. And listen, after that, I felt so much better. I was like, God, why do I do this to myself when I know I just need to be in your presence? Like, why do I torture myself like that? Like, just come in your presence and you're going to give me the peace that I need, So at the end of the day, yes, guys, God's timing. Ask him for peace, like you have to learn how to pray over things that you need, God, give me the peace I need, the peace fast to get in his word, to get closer to him, so that you can get the peace, you can learn how to get these things, yes? So I hope this was encouraging to everyone. I love you guys, and thank you so much. Have a good day.